Good evening, viewers, and welcome to this edition of NTV Sports Page for Tuesday, 7th September. I am Curtis Morton. In our headlines, Nivision Malcolm Ramsey on duty as FIFA referee assessor in Canada. And in our feature for this evening, we hear from Chris Watson, CPL's marketing chief. We'll take this break and I'll be right back.
The management and staff of the Nevis ANC Ports Authority want to ensure that you are safe. Our security officers, administrative staff, cleaning technicians and auxiliary personnel are busy on the job protecting the health of the users of the Nevis ANC Ports Authority. They are the port's frontline personnel who are working around the clock to help protect you. If you must travel through our ports, please remember to observe all the safety protocols. Practice social distancing and wear masks during all interactions. Utilize the sanitizing stations available throughout and practice respiratory etiquette. Everyone has a role to play, and a safe Nevis depends on you.
Well, I'm back and we start with cricket. The West Indies under-19 team lost their second one-day match to the England Young Guns on Monday, 6 September. The Windies team batted first and were bowled out for 180 runs in 39.3 overs. Teddy Bishop, the opener, top scored with 97 not out, and the other opener, Nivision Anderson Armadan, scored 27 with 5 boundaries. For the Young England team, skipper Jacob Bethel bagged 3 wickets for 29 runs, Tom Press 3 for 36, Sonny Baker 2 for 26, and Fateh Singh 1 for 21. England under-19s got to 181 for 9, just barely, in 38 overs. James Rue, he top scored with 63, Jacob Bethel 20, Rohan Ahmed 20. Isai Thorne bagged 3 for 54, and Nivision Onaje Amri, he picked up 2 for 42. Anderson Mahes 2 for 34, and Andel Gordon 1 for 23. Young England winning by 1 wicket. Now to football. Malcolm Ramsey would be the first to admit that his love for sports in general developed while as a little boy selling nuts at the then Grove Park. He recalls being torn between making another nut sale and looking back to watch the heroes of the day, especially the former Leeward Islands greats like Livingston Sargent, as they thrilled the crowds back then. Now, Ramsey is facing much larger crowds as he's now on a much bigger stage. And this time around, he's not selling nuts. Far from it. Even as we speak, Mr. Ramsey is currently on assignment in Canada as one of the FIFA referee assessors for the FIFA World Cup qualifiers Qatar 2022 CONCACAF final round. On Thursday, 2nd September, at the BMO Stadium, he was the referee assessor and assessed the Mexican referee team in the match Canada versus Honduras. Tomorrow, Wednesday, the 8th of September, he will be the referee assessor to assess the Costa Rican referee team in the match Canada versus El Salvador, slated for 8:05 p.m. Ramsey, in his usual humble style, told this reporter, "I am honored to be considered for these top-level appointments, but to God I give all the glory. I encourage young athletic males and females to join the refereeing fraternity in St. Kitts and Nevis." At this present time, St. Kitts and Nevis has 6 FIFA officials. Referees, Kimball Ward of Nevis, Trisley Basso, and Trevester Richards of St. Kitts. Assistant referees, Graham Brown and Ike Innes of St. Kitts, Mario Parry of Nevis. The 2022 FIFA nominees are referee Shandor Wilkinson, female, assistant referees Lenroy Paris, Yolinda Warner, female, and Tyra Wilkinson, female. Malcolm Ramsey has been the head of refereeing in St. Kitts and Nevis for the past 4 years and a FIFA referee instructor for the last 10 years. Ramsey also used the opportunity to express gratitude to former SKNFA President Anthony Johnson and his executive for giving him the opportunity to become a referee assessor since 2011. He also pays homage to the former chairman of the SKNFA Referee Committee, Mr. Cornel Williams, for the commitment shown to the development of referees in the Federation. He wishes him well in all of his endeavors. He further salutes the efforts of the first head of refereeing in St. Kitts and Nevis, Mr. Troy Biff Mills. He showers praise on the SKNFA staff and FIFA regional fitness instructor, Mr. Macefield Nisbet, and all of the local instructors and assessors in St. Kitts, including newly appointed FIFA MA technical instructors, Kendria Tully and Kenny Martin, for their hard work, commitment, and dedication over the years. Mr. Ramsey also had a special message for all of the referees in the Federation. Quote, I encourage you to keep working hard, believe in yourself, and depend on God for guidance. Remember, success is not a destination, but a journey. He closed the interview by stating, I pledge my continued support towards the development of referees in St. Kitts and Nevis, and I welcome the new executive led by Atiba Harris and the newly appointed referee committee chairman, Mr. John Bergan. I look forward to working with this new executive as we continue to develop refereeing and football, the game we love, and build a better future. Again, to God I give all the glory and praise. So it's a big up, Malcolm Ramsey, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. We'll take this break and I'll be back with our feature for this evening.
The continued fight against COVID-19 requires the continued practice of public health measures across all sectors and in every community. Frequent and proper hand washing, wearing face masks, and physical distancing. Do you know who is not physical distancing? The Aedes aegypti mosquito. Let's avoid overloading our healthcare systems. This means simultaneously protecting yourselves and your loved ones from all disease, including mosquito-borne illness like dengue fever, Zika, and chikungunya viruses. Did you know that dengue is the most common mosquito-borne viral disease in the world? So let's get to work. Use window and door screens to keep mosquitoes out. Change the water in vases and scrub inside surfaces to remove mosquito eggs. Avoid using saucers with potted plants to prevent collection of water. Securely cover water barrels and drums with mosquito netting and properly fitted covers. Scrub the inside walls of water barrels and drums with detergent 1 to 2 times per week. Walk around the outside of your home and remove or overturn containers that can collect water and become breeding sites. Mosquitoes only need a small amount of water to lay their eggs. Remove unwanted cans, bottles, buckets, or used tires. Other items still in use must be properly stored in covered areas to avoid water settling in them. Clean roof gutters and air conditioner trays. Debushing and removing tall grass from around your home or establishment is also key to reducing mosquito populations. To decrease your risk of being bitten by infected mosquitoes, use proven personal protective methods too. Apply an effective mosquito repellent to exposed areas of skin according to manufacturer's instructions. Wear light-colored long pants and shirts while outdoors in the early morning and late afternoons. Further, protect vulnerable family members like pregnant women, children, the elderly, and persons who are unwell by using mosquito nets to sleep or rest, even during the day. Fight the bite and protect yourself and your family too from mosquito-borne diseases. This message is brought to you by the Pan American Health Organization, Office for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries.
Well, I'm back, and tonight cricket is in the spotlight. I recently had the opportunity to interview CPL's marketing chief, Chris Watson, virtually. Tonight we feature that interview. I have the distinct privilege to have in my company Mr. Chris Watson, and he's the marketing chief for CPL 2021. Chris, welcome to NTV Sports Nevis.
Thanks for having me on. It's an absolute pleasure.
Now, Chris, from a perspective, how have things been going for CPL 2021 so far?
Yeah, no, we've been absolutely delighted with the response and how the tournament's shaping up so far. I mean, first of all, it's been a huge amount of work to get to this stage, to have all 33 games in beautiful islands of St. Kitts and Nevis. It's been a long time in the making, and it's all down to really the great relationship we have with the fans here in St. Kitts, and also the relationship with the government to enable it to happen. And now that it is happening, I certainly feel like the cricket hasn't disappointed. We've had super overs, we've had close games, we've had last ball finishes. The Patriots have got off to a phenomenal start with winning their first 5 And although that's sort of they've had a couple of setbacks in the last couple of games, they're still looking very strong. But no, it's been a and the fans have sort of the atmosphere is really starting to build up over the last few games.
Speaking of the fans, you did mention St. Kitts, but Chris, I just want you to know that it's all about St. Kitts and Nevis because a host of fans do travel by boat to come to St. Kitts. So, in terms of the logistics, they have to be vaccinated, and what's in it for the fans? How does it work?
Yeah, so we've been welcoming many fans from Nevis. So all persons coming to the games have to be vaccinated. So what that means in practice is when you come to buy a ticket, either online or you come to the box office at Warner Park on the day to get a ticket, you'll have to provide some extra information initially for contact tracing. So you'll need to show your ID card. And then when you go into the gate at the grounds, you'll need to show your proof of vaccination. So that will be a vaccination card and your proof of ID. So there's a couple of extra steps, but it's we're finding it's not adding any extra time to the process. Really, people are still getting into the ground very smoothly, and we've had very sort of positive feedback. And it's all, of course, us working closely with the government to ensure that everyone who comes can be as safe as possible, given the sort of the situation that the world's in with the pandemic. So we've had really strong feedback, and as I say, the atmosphere in the ground is really, really good, and there's been some phenomenal cricket and exciting times happening.
Yeah, based on what I've seen some pretty good crowds in, and the vibes, the response, tremendous, especially when Patriots win a game. You can see how the fans react. Now, the question is though, Chris, seeing that you cannot make a lot of money from the fans this year, because a lot of unvaccinated fans will run, but they can't. So how is CPL really going to make the money? Because this has to be an expensive venture. 33 games in one venue. It must be pretty difficult on you guys. How are you making the money? By the coverage or merchandise? How does it work?
Yeah, I mean, CPL is very much a long-term venture. We're here for years to come, so we have a long-term strategy, and it's not all about one single sort of revenue stream. As you mentioned, it's not all about the fans. We have a number of revenue streams. Our sponsors, our broadcast revenue, and other avenues. So while we're absolutely delighted with every fan who comes out and shows their support. For us, that's more about maintaining the product, which is about CPL being a fantastic cricket game, cricket atmosphere to come and go to. So really, our primary interest at the moment is trying to get fans to come out and show their support and come to the games, because it's a unique opportunity having all 33 games in St Kitts and Nevis, and being able to get fans from Nevis, fans from St Kitts come down to the games. The final might not be here again for another number of years. So I'd say to people to take the opportunity, go and get your tickets and come down.
Now, in terms of the major players, the players themselves, Chris, being in the bubble, it must be a tremendously tough experience. Can you describe how the players are standing up to the bubble situation and match days, maybe 2 consecutive matches and all that? How do they make out in this environment?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a very different situation to 18 months ago or so. But I think a lot of cricketers have adapted well, and they've also missed a lot of cricket over the last sort of year or so. So I think there's sort of two sides to it. That the cricketers are really hungry to come and play cricket, but also they're finding that the situation here, where our bubble's located at the Marriott Resort, is relatively comfortable compared to perhaps some of the other bubble experiences that they might have had, at tournaments around the world, because the Marriott is a large facility and there's a lot of sort of outdoor space. So from that perspective, and there's obviously a short enough journey to the stadium as well. So from that perspective, I think, no bubble's ever going to be the most fulfilling experience, but it's certainly probably more comfortable than most, while obviously being all about sort of safety and security. But as I say, I think people are really focused on the cricket, and I think when you put all the cricketers together in that environment, that competitive spirit really builds up, and we can just see that the teams are really hungry to do well, and that's shown with the you look at the league table and every team's been beaten, so there's a lot to play for.
My understanding also is that you guys have made it pretty comfortable for some of the cricketers because they've been allowed to have family members and even their children. How is that working out for them?
I mean, I'm personally not that close to those sides of specifics, but wherever we can help out people to enable them to have the best conditions possible to play their cricket, we'll of course try and do that, whilst really with safety and security of everyone involved being the number one sort of priority. So within our bubble, there's a number of protocols. Everyone was tested before their travel and tested several times upon their arrival into St Kitts and Nevis, and then after a number of days as well, and they'll be repeatedly tested throughout. So we're sort of we're really comfortable with the protocols that we have in place, and we want it to be safe and secure. As I say, we want it to be comfortable, and we want that to all build up to the best possible conditions for people to go out and do their business on the pitch. And I think we've seen that so far with huge number of sixes, higher totals than perhaps you saw in CPL last year, and some really thrilling encounters. And we're only really now at the halfway stage of the tournament, so I think there's a lot of great cricket to be played.
In terms of merchandise, what kind of merchandise are available for the fans this year? Can they get Patriot shirts, caps, you name it? What's available this year, and the cost maybe?
Yeah, so we've just launched a online store. So if you go to the CPL website, which is lt20.com, there's a whole range of goodies on there that you can buy online and have shipped to you wherever you are. And that includes Patriots t-shirts, Patriots caps, Patriots training tops. So there's some great stuff available right now online that you can order. But also, as we reach the latter stage of the tournament, we're going to be selling some stuff at the box office as well. So we'll be hoping to sell some Patriots jerseys, some CPL merchandise, some Chris Gale merchandise as well. So there's going to be lots of exciting things as we approach the sort of last sort of 10 days, the last week of the tournament, where we get into the real sort of business end of things. And we know that the fans will be really wanting to show their support.
As we get into the business end of things, would there be anything in it for the fans, like you catch a ball and you get some money, or any of those kind of incentives as was the case in the past?
Yeah, so there's all kinds of things going on at the game. So you might have seen, for those of you watching on TV, you might have seen that there's $500 up for grabs every game for the best dressed fan, the hero fan of the match. There's $200 also for person spotted and picked out as the Angostura chill moment for any particular fans who are looking particularly chilled out. We'll be doing a number of giveaways as well with our sponsors, and also CPL have some goodies that we'll be giving away in the latter stages. I think what I'm really excited about is as we get towards the end of the tournament, next weekend, for the first time ever, we're having triple header games. So next weekend there'll be 3 games on one day, all for the price of one ticket, and we're keeping the ticket prices exceptionally low. So I think it's a real opportunity next weekend to come and see 3 games of cricket in one day, with prices prices basically rock bottom, as little as $15 for that, to see all 3 games. So I think there's a lot of goodies and giveaways and exciting things going on. But I think we're into the, as you say, so people should start sort of really studying the schedule and start picking out the games that they're going to come to between now and the end.
What about your sponsors? Because those sponsors are critical to the entire process, and you have mentioned them a couple of times. Do you want to mention some of those sponsors, like to give them a big up, to say thank you this time?
I mean, CPL now is hugely fortunate to have I think in the region of 14 or 15 league sponsors, many of whom have been with us for a number of years. And as you say, you've absolutely spot on. The CPL wouldn't be able to happen without the support of the sponsors. And it's not just about sticking their logo on TV. Their sponsors are right there side by side with us, giving out goodies or supplying facilities, running bars, doing activations and exciting things for the. You're absolutely right that they're just absolutely integral to the tournament. So I wouldn't want to call them out specifically, other than our title sponsor Hero, because I'd probably miss one, and I'd feel incredibly guilty. But they're all hugely important to us, and without them, as I say, it wouldn't be possible.
You've been looked at in Nevis. And Nevis, as you know, has a history of cricket. We have placed some 7 persons on the West Indies cricket team thus far, hoping to place a couple more, of course, in the not too distant future. And so the fans in Nevis are very much into the game. I want you to look at them now, because they're looking at you, and tell them why they should come down in their numbers, vaccinated and all, to watch the remainder of the tournament.
Well, first of all, the thing I need to say is a huge thank you to everyone from Nevis, because, as I say, we feel the support of everyone from Nevis since day one, since we had the franchise for the St Kitts and Nevis Patriots, in 2015. We recognise that the whole federation has been right behind the home team. We feel their support for every time the Patriots play. So it's down to that support. Entirely the reason that we're able to have the whole tournament here in St Kitts and Nevis. So just that's a huge thing for us, is to say thank you for everyone. And what I will say is it's a great opportunity. If you look at the schedule now, if you go to cplt20.com, have a look at the fixtures, you'll see that there's, we're just over the halfway stage of the tournament, but there's some incredible cricket to be played. The Patriots are playing both days next weekend. It's a great opportunity to come over, get the ferry, have a great day out, or evening out, as I say, in a responsible and safe manner. But it's going to be a unique chance to see the latter stages of the tournament here, and obviously the semi-finals and the final will be here as well. So it's a great opportunity to see a lot of exciting cricket, and we don't have a plan yet for where which location CPL will take place next year. Hopefully we'll be able to go back to a more normal setup where all the islands host home games, but it's with things so uncertain because of the pandemic, just don't know. So I'd say to fans, if you're thinking about coming out, take that opportunity and come over and show your support, pick and choose which games you want to come to, because it's a great chance, and particularly with Patriots having such a strong team, with Galen, Bravo, Cottrell, Evan Lewis, Rutherford, the list just goes on and on. It's a really strong team, the strongest that I can certainly recall. So with 5 wins, they're looking very good for the playoffs. So it's time to come and show your support for the guys.
Well, that's our package for this evening. I am Curtis Morton, reminding you that you can watch sports if you're not fit. But to play sports requires fitness, diligence, and sacrifice. Have a good night.